So very quickly, I just wanted to make a quick video about prayer and how I felt prayer really, or what the intention, or what the real meaning of prayer really is, and how we're supposed to do it. Now, everyone's prayer is unique. I'm a Muslim, so the Islamic prayer is relatively ritualized. It's ritualized so that I'm assuming the way the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, created the prayer so that it could illuminate or create that same feeling within us. And I believe it does when we do it with sincerity. But when we do it without sincerity, when we do it just as a rote exercise because we think it's a part of the faith, I think it loses a lot of the meaning. Like, I spoke to a lovely man today. I spoke to a lovely man at my workplace, and he was Egyptian, and we were speaking about wudu, and he was just talking about how, like, if you get up and you do the wudu at this time and you do it, then you don't have to do it again with the socks on, but then you can take it off. And I'm like, mate, this is the same stuff that Jesus was talking about, where you turn the law of man into God's law, when that's just not the case at all. The whole point of the ablution, or the wudu, wuzu, however you pronounce it, ritual cleansing, the whole point of that is essentially to purify yourself, purify one's soul. So you do it on the outside, but it does the inside as well. But the point of the prayer is to really cleanse the inside, the heart of the lower self, or of the lower emotions. Hate, lust, greed, envy, all of these things. The prayer eliminates these, or at least cleans them through the prayer, because the prayer is designed for you to go straight to God, the highest vibration of them all, which is love. And then it's God, which is higher than love, I think. So you can't, like, not fail. You can't not succeed if you go straight to the creator of the universe. Like, you just can't fail, man. And you can go straight to the creator of the universe. Why? Because you are from the creator of the universe. You are not, like, you belong to the creator. He created you. You've got a soul. You've got a direct line to him. You do not need a minister. You do not need a book. Now, I recommend books. I recommend scripture, like the Quran or the Bible or whatever. I recommend scripture, God-inspired text. I do. Which ones do I personally read? I stick to Christian and Islamic because it works for me. You do have the Hindu and the Buddhist stuff as well. I've read the Buddhist stuff. It works occasionally, but really, I think the Christian meditative contemplative tradition, coupled with the Sufi Islamic tradition, it's the same thing. It leads to the creator. It doesn't matter. I'm sick of having debates with people in a worldly sense about what's the best religion. No one cares about religion, mate. It's all a style. Like Bruce Lee spoke about styles of fighting, boxing, Muay Thai, karate. It doesn't matter. It's fighting. At the end, have you seen karate guys when they get into a real fight? It looks like Muay Thai or boxing. It just looks like kickboxing. And have you seen kickboxers when they get into a fight? It just looks like a fight. It's a fight, guys. It's a fight. Like, it doesn't matter what style you choose. It's a bloody fight. I don't care if it's judo, jiu-jitsu, even jiu-jitsu or judo for that matter. Like, it starts standing up. The moment the guy gets on the floor, it's a jiu-jitsu match. Do I care if it's jiu-jitsu or judo? No, it's ground fighting. It's still going to end up looking the same. It's just fighting. And all these styles, kung fu this, wushu that, kabaddi that, like, it doesn't matter what style you choose. It's fighting. And fighting is just about winning the fight. So you probably want to ask, what's the most effective fighting style for me to learn so that I can be a better fighter, so I can win a fight? Right? That's fairly straightforward. The same thing goes for God. What's the most effective style or tradition for me to get to God? Whatever the one you like. It's really that simple. Whatever the one you like for example in martial arts, whatever the one you like. I'd say the same thing to you. Like, you want to be a better fighter? Well, obviously, first understand what a fight is. It's fisticuffs. It's probably going to involve elbows and knees and grappling. It's probably going to involve a bit of ground fighting. Okay, so you just pick the one that you like that has all of these elements, or you pick bits of, or you pick the styles of the segmented aspects of the fight. So boxing, grappling, or boxing, judo, jiu-jitsu, or boxing, judo, or boxing, wrestling, then jiu-jitsu. You're probably going to do jiu-jitsu in all of them. But you know what? You really don't need to. You could just do judo and Muay Thai and you're sorted. You don't need to spend all that time on the floor. You can just spend your time mostly working on your stand-up, your stand-up grappling, and then your takedowns, and then your submission holds. And just stick to that. And you don't really need to deal with all of this other ground fighting stuff. But I mean, you can if you want to. It's up to you. If it's fun, right? It doesn't matter if it's fun. If it works for you, it works for you, man. Some people are better ground fighters. Hey, why not? Who am I to judge? But the point I'm trying to make here is the style of worship does not matter as long as you're connecting with the Most High. Don't get too attached to the style. I've got my style, it's Islam. It's just my style, though. I'm going to say that openly. And I know all the Muslims out there are going to want to shoot me now. They're going to be like, you apostate, you hypocrite, don't know what you're talking about. No, I do know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Allah, and I'm talking about how you talk to Him and how you get close to Him and how you cleanse your heart from all the sins and purify yourself so that you can get a close relationship to Allah, which is the unnamed, really, the unnamed creator of the universe. That's what you're talking to. That's who you're connecting to. And that's who I'm trying to get close to every single day. So whether I do it through this madhab or that madhab, or this text or that text, like, this has all become legal. Like, you've got guys who are Muslims who are sitting there with more laws written down than the Constitution of America. Like, what the hell is going on, man? This is ridiculous. The creator of the universe has definitely got laws for us, but that's just a little bit too much. Yeah, that's the same thing that Jesus was going on about against the rabbis of his time and the Sadducees and the Pharisees. He was like, look at these people. They're so concerned about what order to do things in, but yet they've forgotten the main laws of the religion, which was to love others as I've loved you, God. And love God with all your heart, all your mind, and all your strength, and all your soul. Well, I think it's all your strength, actually. You don't do that. All these other little laws that you write down, you got to step your left foot first in the bathroom. I mean, I get it. I get why that's there. I know why it's there. It's not there for the reason you think. It's there to make you more mindful and more attentive and intentional in everything that you do. It's beautiful when you look at it that way, but then when you take it like, oh, it's law. I've got to stop. I've committed a sin by not putting my left foot in the bathroom first. Yeah. At the end of the day, you can just be a blind follower and it works. You can. You really can. It's a bit like doing martial arts. You can just be a blind follower and listen to the coach and it works. It will win you the fight. That's probably the best way to win a fight, actually. Don't question the coach. Just bloody do what he says. So the religion, kind of the same way. If you don't question it, it kind of just does work. And it will give you everything that you want from it. Peace of mind, connection to God, happiness, mindfulness, good relationships, a good structure in your life. I mean, religion's beautiful if you look at it. And people need religion. People have religion. Even kafirs or kafirs who don't have religion, they have religion. Like, they've got rituals which are just, OCD is just one other word for the fact that human beings need rituals in their life. Like, my brother has one. If he watches this video, you should watch this video because it will teach you. We all want the same thing. We all want closeness to God. But we all then, when we don't do that, when we don't know that, number one, number two, when we don't really know how to, we then try to get closeness with God in all these other weird ways. Like my brother, he's got a ritual. Before he eats food, he's got to take all the bones off, and he's got to prepare the food all perfectly. And it's got to be perfect, right? It's got to be done like a perfect. It takes him like an hour to do it. He doesn't even eat food. Like, when me and my mum sit down to eat food, he doesn't eat food with us. He does the ritual, and then he eats afterwards, and that's incredibly strange. Like, that's, I mean, I don't care, I'm not judging him, fair enough, man, you do you. But it's just it is a bit weird. Like, I shouldn't judge, but it is a bit weird. But the point I'm trying to make here is it's a ritual at the end of the day. And I actually do respect the ritual, to be honest. I do respect it because there's a lot of attentiveness and mindfulness that goes into what he's doing. But it's a ritual. If that ritual was just replaced with Salah, I reckon he wouldn't do it anymore, because I used to have a lot of these weird rituals as well. Like, I got to press the light a few times before I go in, and, I've got to... Oh, I used to have weird ones, man. I used to have weird ones. Like, I used to have one with my nose where I'd breathe like... I'd do that. Can't even do it. Yeah, I'd do that. I'd like breathe. I'd try and like puff air out of my nose. And I'd do that. I'd have to do it like a certain number. It's so weird. I'd have to do it a certain number of times in order for me to like do something else. Like, it was like permission to go forth. It's just so weird. Like, that was a weird ritual that I had. What other rituals did I have? I used to have loads. Like, it was so weird. Because these were weird rituals that I would have. But then when I've got Salah, all of these rituals disappeared. Seriously, I got disappeared overnight. Like, peace of mind, and I don't need to do any of these weird rituals anymore. Crazy. So yeah, back to the prayer. It's an intentional form of getting close to God. And really, it's not a sit-down time for you to start like listing out all of your desires and, list them all out and ask God, please, God, make me rich, give me kids. Like, don't get me wrong, if you need things like, I need a bit more money to get through this month's rent, it's bothering me, Lord, it's, please help me on this respect, then I'm sure that would be fine. But if we're sitting here and we're like, make me rich, I want to be a millionaire, oh God, I'll do so many good things. God knows that you don't need that, you're just asking for it because you're greedy, right? If you're asking for a wife, like, fair enough, man, companionship, and we were made... Allah does say that we were not made to be alone, so I mean, fair enough. And I honestly do believe if you ask for a wife, he will grant you a wife, generally speaking, but he will first probably make you into a man who's capable of actually providing and looking after a wife, which in fact he will do, and he has done in my case. Is doing it in my case anyway. I just trust the process, man. But really, I can't explain it to you. But when I do get married, inshallah, I'll make another video, and I will write the process as to how he did it with me, and then hopefully that will help you guys to have a little bit of hope when it comes to your duas about really anything. But yeah, like, he will give you what you need. Generally speaking, he'll give you what you need, and he will give it to you immediately. There won't be a delay. Like, I used to think there'd be like 24 hours, 36 hours, a year before God gets back to me. No, I've sent the prayer off. Nope, he hears it immediately and he answers it. He answers it immediately. I'm telling you right now, he answers it immediately. And yeah, he does. He does. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to give you any specifics. I'm just going to say he answers it immediately. You just have to pray in the right way, which is be very specific in your prayers as to what you're asking. And generally, when you start overthinking, you're trying to solve a problem by yourself. Now, the point of the prayer is that you depend on God for that. I should really scrap the rest of the video and just go straight to this point. I will bookmark this then. The point of the prayer is that you don't depend on yourself, because you're not God. I'm going to say that again because we do this so often. You don't depend on yourself because you are not God. That's why you overthink. That's why you have chronic anxiety, because you're trying to be omniscient. You're trying to be omnipotent. You're trying to be able to do everything and see everything at once. You're not designed to do that. Despite the fact that we have the internet, and despite the fact you might have an IQ of 146 or whatever it is. I don't have an IQ of 146, by the way, so I can't do that physically. But let's say you did. Let's say you're so intelligent you can handle multiple variables. You're still going to overthink yourself to oblivion. I know people who drive themselves insane, who are very intelligent people, smart people with an IQ of 146 and above, who will make themselves go insane. And they have many vices. Yeah, because you can't do that. You're not God. So when you try and solve your own problems, You make yourself go mad. That's why you let go and you let God. And then wisdom acts through you, and in the moment, whatever's required will be done. And when I say God does it, it's because you know what to do now, as opposed to trying to calculate what to do. Do you see what I mean there? I'm going to say that one more time just so that you can hear me, just so that the message goes through. You know what to do, as opposed to trying to calculate what to do. You see, because when you try and think that you're God, you try and calculate things, and you try and plan, and you try and devise, and you try and strategize, and you try and scheme. In the Quran it says, the schemers will fail. Allah is the greatest of schemers. And then Abraham and Sarah also tried to scheme because they didn't trust God. They didn't give it to God, the matter of having a baby. So they did it themselves. They schemed, and they had that whole little thing with Hagar and Ishmael and all that. So they schemed. Now the point of that is they tried to devise a plan for themselves to get the kid. But that wasn't God's blessing for them. And that kid was blessed at the end of the day because he made a promise to Abraham. But God probably wasn't happy about the fact that, hey, you didn't really have a lot of faith in me. I did say I was going to give you a kid, but you didn't listen to me. The point of that story is faith, guys. And the reason why all these guys in the Old Testament are old, you know, Moses and Aaron only managed to deliver their message to the Pharaoh when they were in their 80s. I mean, what? Abraham had his kid when he was 100, I think. He only received the promise when he was 80. The reason why they're so old is because the point of that, there's loads of reasons for why it could be, to be honest. Millions and millions of reasons, which historically, whatever. But my interpretation has been, it's to show you that God doesn't really have his time. Like, it's on his time, man. Like, you might have to wait a long time before you know what the hell's going on. So you've got to have that faith in that meantime. And the faith makes you stronger. The faith deepens your connection with God. Every time there's a trial or temptation and you've got to depend on God through faith, your faith gets stronger. And that's what God's after. He wants your faith. That's what he loves. He loves your faith. He wants you to depend on him, because that's why he made you. He made you to depend on him. And you might say, well, it sounds sadistic. I'm not God. You go ask him. I just know that that's what you've got to do. I just know you've got to have faith in God. And then you have confidence. Confidence. Confidere. Fidelity. Fidelity to God. Loyalty to God. Love of God. Dependence of God. So, you know, I'm not a genius, man. I'm a very simple individual. I cannot devise stratagems. I'm not very clever in that respect. But what I am is a very simple individual who's been meditating a lot recently and has been listening to Roy Masters, who's a really interesting guy to listen to in this topic. And